Okay, it's time to start on the machine itself. I got a very eager helper here that just can't wait to get started. So what are we going to do first, Ethan?
We're going to take this part off.
We're going to take that off? Okay, why don't we find a place for the vise and that support. All right, go for it. Ethan wants to get that motor off of there. So what holds it on?
I don't actually know.
Well, you're taking a screw out. I bet you those 4 screws hold that on there, right?
I think it's holding on the plate that's holding it on.
Ah, okay. All right, well, get those screws out. And then we got something here. You're probably going to need help lifting that motor off. So let me put the camera on the tripod and we'll get it off of there, okay? Let's see if we can get this off of there. There we go. We'll have to remember to put the belt in there before we put the motor on, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Ethan discovered it. There's a little locking pin here. So can you rotate that pulley up there slowly until we find where this drops in? Right there. Does that lock it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we rotated the head here, and it's fully gimbaled. You can rotate and you can also knot it, just like kind of like a Bridgeport. So right now I'm looking at the quill here, and it's stuck. It does not downfeed. And I think it's just because the oil or whatever lubricant is in there has dried up. So I'm going to soak it with some solvent. There's also, I believe, a spring in here because this little plunger pushes it back up. So we'll get plenty of solvent on here. Let it soak in. And then we'll see if we can get this thing moving. Okay, so good news. After squirting solvent and Croil, and then following up with some lightweight oil, we got the downfeed working. Spring return works also. The spindle bearings actually feel pretty good. There's really no way to oil anything as far as oil fitting, so I put some oil around the spindle while it was upside down, let it run down in there. At some point I'm going to take all this apart and get everything cleaned and lubricated, but it looks like it's working okay. This is a really tight quill, and what's the travel? I think it's only 3 inches of travel. Make that 2 inches of travel. So yeah. Now, and it's a double taper Y collet that goes in there, and I do have the nut. There's the nut. Okay, so we have that. But yeah, there's no way to oil anything other than just squirting it from the outside. So I think it's got 2 sets of bearings. There's going to be a set of bearings in the quill, and then another set for the drive pulley here. So that's all I'm going to do with this for now. So we're going to put this aside while we work on the rest of the machine.
Once you get it started, it's just so easy. I gotta go wash my hands. I got oil on me.
Well, there's going to be more, I can almost guarantee
Okay,
you.
I'll put gloves on then.
Alright, we got to figure out how that comes off. So there's a nut, and it looks like a stud right here that holds the engagement mechanism for the power feed. There we go. Okay, now you can take that one out. Got it. Gloves might be a little big for you. How are those? Are those tight?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably gonna need you might need the impact driver. There we go. Okay, we got that one loosened. Okay, this one. Are you watching? All right, now you can undo them.
Yay.
All right. This kid's a slave driver. I can't even take a minute to look at how things are assembled here before he starts taking stuff apart. So we took a stud out of here that was holding the little spring stud with that goes to the worm drive. Just use your fingers. There you go.
Very oily.
Nice. Now, do we have to take that gear off of there?
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing that.
Okay. All right, we're going to examine this off camera for a minute. My daughter took my helper home, so he was working on getting these gib screws out, and the threads are full of gunk. Probably just dried grease, so just been putting a little solvent in there, kind of breaking it up with a little piece of wire here. I think they're 1/4 I could probably try running a tap down, but they're starting to move. I think this is the last one that's kind of fighting things. Housing is not threaded all the way, so it's hard to get them all the way out. So I'm just going to leave them in with one thread on the end, and we'll get those out once we pull the table off. Can you guys see that gib in there? So I'm not sure if it'll just slide out. I'm going to push on it, see what happens. Okay, I think I've got this little gear figured out. So it's keyed to the shaft, but it's not threaded. It just has clearance. So I think it'll just come right off the end when I crank this all the way down. Just want to make sure we got plenty of lube on it. Let's see if my theory is correct. There's a block you can remove here, but I think we can just crank that until it comes all the way off. Or not. It's still moving. Oh, so this, I can see now, this is captive to this block, so I've got to loosen that block up. Here we go. Let's try this. Okay, now it's free from the lead screw. Let's give her a few tappy tap taps. The other. Check something. Okay, so the table is still moving. It's pulling out. Okay, we're all the way out. Well, I'm going to have a closer look. Well, I decided to switch gears and work on this end. Trying to figure out, I'm hoping I can get the lead screw out this way, and then I can take the table off. So, trying to figure out how this handle's attached. It looks like, I don't know if you guys can see right there. Looks like they ran a taper pin all the way through. That's doesn't look like that's going to be any fun. There's our indicator dial, and then there's a collar. I'm going to see if I can get that collar loose. I don't know if that'll help at all. Okay, well, nothing seems to be happening there. All right, let me take these out. Okay. Alright, looks like this will just unscrew now. Fit is really good, so I don't feel hardly any backlash at all. There we go. Alright, other than dirty, it looks pretty good. Alright, so with the lead screw out, there's really nothing holding this table on. I've been cleaning the ways. I tried to get the gib out, but I think it's pinned. So I'm going to try to slide the table off, probably toward me. Okay. It's a little tight when you get toward the ends. Alright, stay put. There we go. Ooh, that's heavy. Well, there's the underside of the saddle. And table. Almost looks like a plainer finish. I think it is. Huh. Alright, well, we got it off. Let's see if we can get this nut gear assembly out of here. There we go. That is a tight fit. Number 6 or 9. Okay. It's actually got some pretty nice oil passageways or oil grooves in here, and then these are drilled down to the dovetail. That one is pretty well clogged. So I'm going to run these adjusting screws back down, see if I can push it out. I tried tapping on it and it's not moving. Oh yeah, it's definitely pinned. It's got, well, looks like just one pin. Okay. Yeah, a little gunky. Okay, I cleaned it off a little bit. So this can only go one way, like that. There we go. So I was wondering if I needed to mark it, but there's only one way it can go. These are oil transfer holes here, and then that's your locator pin. They just used a cup point set screw. It looks like they may have ground the teeth off the cup, but I'll probably grind just a little bit more. Yeah, because that's not ideal. In fact, it's contacting at an angle. Just looking to see where it makes contact. Yeah, it's just catching in one spot. There's a mark there where the hole is, where the tapped hole is, but you can see right there it's only catching in one little spot. So we may update these to dog point and then see if we can put a proper little recess in there. Looks like we just unbolt this whole nut assembly here, and we got a gib underneath here, wedge type gib, and a lock. That one's a little tougher. Got the lock out of there. Alright, got that out. It's kind of a weird gib. There's really no way to adjust it other than, bolt tension. So we may modify that. We'll see how things look as we go back together. Okay, there's your saddle. So the nut unscrews from under here. Alright, so I want to disassemble this lead screw, and this handle is held on by a tapered pin, and this is the large end, this is the small end. Let's see if we can, first of all, is this punch going to be too big? Yeah. Alright, I just went over the belt sander. There was a little burr on this punch. Okay, just want to make sure my punch isn't too big. I'm just trying to get it started. Alright, I'm going to grind that a little bit more. Okay, I touched that up a little bit. This punch is way too big. I just want to get it moving, and then we'll switch to the correct punch. Okay, that looks like it may have moved. That one's too big. Trouble is, you get the right size punch, and then they're kind of flimsy. Yeah, it's moving. Yeah, I don't think this punch is tough enough. I'm gonna narrow this one a little bit more off camera. Okay, I put a little bit of heat on it, and we got some oil and grease came out of there. I didn't get it super hot, but I figured a little bit might help. Wow. Alright, so I was just checking off camera. I've got plenty of number 2 taper pins, and that's what it looks like is in there. So I think the safest thing to do is just go ahead and set it up in the mill. We'll use the end mill to get started, then we'll just drill it out rather than taking the chance of doing some kind of damage. Yeah, I've been hitting on it pretty dang hard. I even tried the arbor press, no luck. So I think that's probably the safest way to go. So I'm just using a pin as an alignment tool. I can see the edge all the way around where the taper pin is. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going to zero out the DRO. Alright, so I'm going to apologize in advance to any real machinists watching. So this was all set up by eyeball, and I got some blocks of wood here, various wedges. So the wood is just in there snug, just to counteract the drilling force. And I've lined everything up by eye, and yes, that is a end mill and a drill chuck. All I want to do is just kind of create a little flat area so I can switch to a drill bit. So I'm just going to go very light, and hopefully it doesn't slip. Okay, I got the DRO zeroed. Yeah, so let's just do it. Yeah, looks like we got good alignment. A little bit more. Okay, I got an itsy bitsy spotting drill. Looks like we're dead center. Well, I'm wondering if I should try to drive that out before I go all the way through. Okay. All right. I didn't even have to hit it that hard. Okay. Success. Okay, so I think while I've got everything right here, I'm going to grab a reamer and clean that hole up a little bit. Okay, got our tapered reamer. A little bit of oil. Doesn't take a lot. That's probably good. Can always do it more if I need to. Okay. You guys can't see it, but it's nice and clean, smooth all the way through, so that's good. Oh, and yeah, it comes off. Okay. Figure out how this bearing works here. Oh, there's a. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to clean that up, get a better look at it. All right, well, I got this all cleaned up. So this is just a plain bearing in there, and it feels fine. There's just a tiny bit of end play or end thrust, and you got to have some, you know, to let the oil in there. And it's held in with this collar. There's a taper pin through there. I don't really see a need to take that apart. I might end up doing more harm than good. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? The lead screw is in excellent condition. I mean, I don't see any wear at all. It looks really good. So happy to see that. Got the handle. That's going to have some more work on it. We'll get that smoothed out some more, and we'll put it on the buffer. Not sure what to do on the graduated dial. I don't know if this is plated or not. It almost looks like it is. So, and I'm not crazy about, oh, it's still over in the parts bin, but it's got the thumb screw type lock. I would rather it be a friction lock, so I might look at upgrading that somehow. So anyways, yeah, that cleaned up our little taper pin adventure. Worked out okay. Got a brand new one here. All right, I'm just gonna, the lead screw, I'm just gonna oil it, wrap it up, set it aside for now. It's ready to go back in. These need a little bit more cleaning. Let's see if we can get this lead screw nut out. So we got this kick out mechanism here. That's just a stop screw right there. We'll take that off first, and we'll get a better look at that. It's a little shoulder bolt. That's kind of wound around there. I'm just going to leave it on. We can clean that without taking that off. All right, then we got this little plunger. Okay, there's a spring in there. What the heck is holding it? Okay, I've been cleaning this and having a look at it and trying to figure out how the heck this transfer pin works. How they got a spring in there. I've looked all around. There's no place where they have any kind of a cross hole in here. So what I found after cleaning it, there's a pin. See, can you guys see that? Yeah. So there's a pin right here. So I think this is just a cap. And there's obviously a counter bore in here and probably a smaller diameter with a spring behind there someplace. So I'm going to live dangerously and try to knock that pin out. This thing's probably going to shoot out, but let's see what happens. Okay, I clamped a piece of wood on there to hold this pin out, and then I've got an itsy bitsy pin punch. Looks like it's moving. Okay. All right, pin is out. Okay. Aha. There we go. Okay, now I can release this and not have the springs shoot out across the shop. And there should be a spring in there somewhere. There we go. And it's a bit gunky, so I'm glad I got that apart. Huh, very interesting. Let's see what I can do with this thing. Let's start by see if we get this pulley off of here, or shiv. Either description is okay. Take the set screw all the way out. I think it's just the one. Okay, and that's probably, oh, look at that. Well, that was easy. I was envisioning having to get the puller out. Okay, so then this guy, I don't want to drag that through there if there's a burr. Oh, they have a little flat. Okay. I think I'm still going to hit that with the stone anyways. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So that's just plain old cast iron. There's no oilite bushing or anything in there. Okay. No reason to take that out of there, but it's just pinned on. Now the other end, this end I would like to get this apart so I can clean this better. Alright, so we have a pin here. And of course no way to drive that out. Well guys, I'm going to have to think on this one. I'm not sure how far down the rabbit hole I want to go. So I think these two ends are similar. I think this shaft is probably pressed in to the universal joint here. And I'm guessing that this side looks pretty much the same. It kind of looks like there might be a pin here, but it's only on one side, so either it really blended in good or it's in a blind hole. And I don't see the same thing on the other side here. So yeah, I don't know. But there is a part number and maker ID. This is made by Boston Gear. So I'm thinking that maybe this whole universal joint extendable shaft, telescopic shaft, is an off-the-shelf part. The other thing that's interesting is we got a keyway here, which is free and working. There's another one here, so I'm thinking that this is a two-stage telescoping, but I've tried putting some oil down there and solvent and just giving this quite a few good wraps, and that's not moving. I think it's got enough travel with just the one, but I want to do a little more investigating. As far as this end goes, they did put it together with a pin here. Unfortunately, there's no way to drive that out without either putting a hole on each side of this part of this casting or one hole in the bottom. You really wouldn't want to put a hole in the bottom because this is filled with oil and grease and you want to keep it in there. And it's working. So do I want to mess with it? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to have a think on this. I think we're going to end this episode right here. It's probably a good spot anyways. I think the video is getting pretty long. So we'll pick this back up in the next episode. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. We'll catch you on the next one.